Entering the Ring is the podcast you don't want to miss. Lucha House Show Podcast.
Bring them out!
What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of our favorite and your favorite wrestling podcast, Lucha House Show Podcast. I'm Mars, the voice of violence, and this is where I usually say I'm joined here at ringside by my colleagues, but given what I'm expecting to be a very fiery podcast today, I've just got to change the intro up a bit, lads. I'm joined here by my opponents in this triple threat match. The wrestling conspiracy theorist himself, the dreadlock demon, Rowdy Roddy Parra. No, they're not working together, but we'll get to that. And the man rumored to have been part of the Ring Ropes crew at Clash of the Castle in Glasgow this week. He's angry. He's armless. He's angry. Renzo Sin Brazos. Now, today, we've got a lot to get through. We're going to talk about Clash of the Castle, everything that went down there. We're going to talk about WWE turning Japanese, and we're going to do something really cool at the end of the pod, and that is we're going to give you our live reactions to what happened at Raw today, at the end specifically with the Wyatt 6. And I haven't even seen it, so it will be my Raw reaction to Raw. But let's kick things off. We're going to talk about AEW and what's going on there in terms of leading up to Forbidden Door. So, Rowdy, why don't you ring that bell and let's get this verbal assault started.
Oh my God, I love it. Verbal assault. It's crazy. Yeah, we got the conspiracy theories. We got the marks coming in. We've got everything. This podcast is going to be really controversial. It's getting more controversial, but every time we record, it's fun. I like it.
Parental advisory, explicit language.
Yeah, it's getting more explicit language as we're going out. Like we're going ahead. It's getting fucking crazy. But yeah, we got a lot to talk about it, like you said, man. Fucking awesome intro. Let's go with AEW, which is just getting ready to what's coming on Forbidden Door. So, Renzo, why don't you just walk us through what's happening in AEW?
Yeah, man. Look, like you said, there's a lot of preparation that's happening for Forbidden Door. A lot of matches have been kind of called already, which is surprising. It's still about a week and a bit away, almost 2 weeks away. But this week, man, I had the privilege of watching probably one of the best matches that I've seen in a very long time on Dynamite. And I'm talking about the match that Rey Fenix had with Will Ospreay. Oh my God, that was absolutely amazing. Yeah, it was a really good match. If you guys love high-flying wrestling, these guys just gave it their all. I think the good thing is that Will Ospreay being there, he's bringing out the best in these guys, even though Fenix lost, and we kind of knew that would happen. Yeah. But, man, that match was absolutely incredible. So, yeah, that was the main event on Dynamite. And, you know, I'm happy to say that Mercedes Moné is fighting a lot more, and she fought with Sarah Emma Eller's Zexus, and she actually looked good. She looked really, really good. Zexus gave her a good fight. She's getting tougher opponents, which is fantastic. But I've also been impressed with. I said it last week. I've said it for a couple of weeks now. Kyle O'Reilly. He was in a match with Mark Briscoe and Orange Cassidy versus Kyle Fletcher, Roderick Strong, and Konosuke Takeshita. Kyle Fletcher got the pin, but it was a really impressive performance from Kyle O'Reilly. That guy, apart from having diabetes, and he's got a neck injury, the stuff that he's doing is absolutely incredible. So yeah, if you have an opportunity, watch some AEW Dynamite this week. Really, really good matches. But like I said, they're all preparation for Forbidden Door. You know, some of the matches that we've got already for Forbidden Door are absolute cracker of matches. So one of the matches, of course, is Swerve Strickland versus Will Ospreay. We've got Konosuke Takeshita versus Mark Briscoe versus Jack Perry versus Dante Martin versus two more opponents for the vacant TNT Championship. It's going to be a ladder match, so that's going to be insane, especially with Takeshita in there. That guy goes hard. Mercedes Moné, we know, versus Stephanie Vaca. That's going to be amazing. Tony Storm versus Mina Shirakawa. Mina Shirakawa has come from New Japan, and she's doing absolutely amazing in the women's division. Zack Sabre Jr. versus Orange Cassidy, which is going to be a banger. Oh my God, that match is going to be crazy. John Moxley for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship versus Tetsuya Naito. And Jeff Cobb has called. Yeah, and Jeff Cobb has called out for a fight. So we're going to see this week who comes answering that call. It's going to be great. So it's lining up to be a really good pay-per-view, some really good matches. I'm really excited.
Yeah, man. Like we still got like Mercedes Moné. Yeah, she looks a bit better. What she's wrestling, but again, going to Forbidden Door, everything's pointing out she's Baka is gonna lose the strongest title, and they're gonna give it to Moné, which is I keep hating they do that. I keep hating the New Japan keeps giving in and not getting anything in return. And it's a lot happening, which I don't know how much is straining the relationship between New Japan and AEW, because at some point you gotta, Japan needs to win more than what is losing in these matches like Forbidden Door. So I'm not liking it the way it goes. If it goes in the way of Stephanie Baka, that would be great. That'll be fucking awesome. But it's just everything's pointing out the other way. John Moxley and Naito, man, Naito's a fucking legend, 41 years old, and just been wrestling for forever in New Japan. Japanese all-star. So that's going to be, like you said, it's going to be a crack of a match. Jeff Cobb, if you got the chance, go and watch some Jeff Cobb's wrestling matches, man. Great matches in New Japan. He's going to go for the World Television Championship. Yeah, just great matches, man. To be honest, a lot of matches going to be great. It's just really good matches. And we got to point out, the first Steelland against Will Ospreay is only for the AEW World Championship. It's not Will Ospreay title on the line. So that's kind of stupid. But at the same time, yeah, why not? I would love to have both titles, because in the women's the match is both titles on the line.
It's both titles on the line, yeah.
So why not put both titles at the same time?
You know what rumor I've heard, man, and I've heard and read a few of these rumors that, yeah, it's a given that Ospreay is going to lose that match. They're not going to take it off Swerve Strickland so soon, but word on the street is Ricochet is going to make an appearance and go after Will Ospreay. Holy shit, that would be amazing.
The only problem is that Ricochet contract is not going to be done by Forbidden Door, if I'm not wrong. His contract is not finished until after Forbidden Door. So if I'm not wrong, I think it's about July or after July his contract is up. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I read that somewhere.
I think you're right. Yeah. And I don't think it would make sense to have him confront Will Ospreay straight away off the bat. I think they got to slow cook that, because that's going to be an epic bout.
Yeah. Even though that Will Ospreay called him out, we just gotta bring him in at some point. In New Japan, I don't know. It's a lot of stuff happening for this Forbidden Door. It's gonna be great. The only thing I said before, the only thing that just worries me is that New Japan keeps losing more than when it's winning in these matches, especially in the important ones. We've seen it before, and that's not good. Same for Mexico. CMLL, AAA, they keep losing more than what they're winning. And how much can I stretch that? It gets to a point, it sucks. What's the point? Like, it's a give and take. You can't just keep giving, and you're just losing every single time. Like, when was the last time a part of, Hijo del Vikingo, which lost in AEW in a title match, which just fucking sucks. Any other AAA champion has won at AEW because they are from United States. Mexican champions lose at AEW. Yeah. So I keep hating that. Keep hating it. So I'm just wondering what's going to happen there. And from that, we keep going to Japan. Let's fly to Japan, because in Japan, we will have the return of WWE with a super show in summer over there, which will be 2 shows. 1 in Osaka and 2 in Tokyo, 25th, 26th, and 27th of next month. I as we know, WWE is being forever looking to crack the Japanese, market. And for the looks of it, they're already starting to create some connections. There's a match, we saw it for, what was it? I think I shared it on Instagram. I just gotta remember which one.
Noah, Pro Wrestling Noah.
Yeah, Noah and Marigold as well.
And Marigold, yeah, which gonna have AJ Styles wrestling in Japan, which that is just huge. Because we've seen Nakamura and Asuka, I think it was wrestling in Japan. Io Sky, I think he also did.
Yeah, he is going back there as well. Yeah,
he is going back in there. So we've seen it, some of them. But the fact that we're gonna have AJ Styles wrestling in Japan is big because we know how big AJ Styles was in Japan. So the fact that he has the chance to go and wrestle over there to another company representing WWE, that just might be the kicking a little bit to this forbidden door for WWE to be open. I don't know what you think, Mark.
Yeah, no, I agree, and it is a market that they've been trying to get a hold of for a very long time. But now, given the new era in WWE, and given the fact that they're not just so like all about them and not even acknowledging other wrestling promotions. This, I think, is their best opportunity to break into that Japanese market, and they're doing it with AJ Styles. When AJ Styles, who's obviously a legend over there, he's still a main eventer in WWE
100%.
as we speak. So it's not like they're sending him at the end of his career, by no means. So I think it's a fantastic move. I think it shows how WWE is spreading its wings now. How it's and I think, like we've said before, like if the wrestling business is good, it's very good for WWE because they have all these other I don't want to use the term developmental territories, but they can nurture the product elsewhere. They can build stars elsewhere, then bring them into the big show.
Yeah.
No pun intended. So that's fantastic. You guys would appreciate it more because you guys have a more thorough knowledge of Japanese wrestling than I do. But I mean, I know how big AJ is over there. Isn't he a Bullet Club OG, or am I wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was Finn Balor, and then he's the one that follow after. So he was the one that's given, and that was during the Long Wolf era where he left TNA and he moved to Japan to wrestle. That's when he became part of the Bullet Club, so one of the original Bullet Club. That's why he still does the whole with the OC. That's a Bullet Club, and I know we're not gonna get into who started the fucking sign and shit, but Bullet Club has done it for since it started. Finn Balor started with the whole sign, and then that's why Cody Rhodes always does it. He does the kiss and then the gun for the Bullet Club because he was also part of the Bullet Club. Today, what do you think, Ransom? Man, is finally gonna crack? WWE is finally gonna be cracking this market, or AEW has massive roots in there?
I don't know, man. This is kind of weird for me, especially with Pro Wrestling Noah. That's actually a surprise because there's a lot of WWE guys that are still going to Noah. So, for example, Roderick Strong was there recently. Who else? Claudio Castagnoli has been in Noah within the last 6 months. So that's kind of, I don't know, kind of weird. Like they're kind of swapping wrestlers back and forth. But it's interesting that AJ Styles is going to Noah. So I don't know what the kind of deal is. I know AEW not only has their tentacles in New Japan, but they've also got it in Stardom as well. That's in Japan as well. So man, if WWE cracked even one of those, it would be absolutely amazing, man, because the forbidden door would well and truly be swung open. That's what they need. They need to crack the Japanese market.
But can I ask you this? Like, how big is Noah compared to, is New Japan the biggest?
Yeah.
New Japan's the biggest.
Yeah,
how big is Noah?
Noah would be like the equivalent of AEW.
Pretty much.
Oh, okay.
So,
but then there's All Japan, isn't there?
There's it's a lot of small ones happening around. Like the biggest one in women's is it's Stardom is the biggest one, but it's also
Stardom.
it's also the one where Akari works, which is I forgot the name right now. Ah, fuck, I forgot the name. But
How big is
Akari.
Marigold?
Marigold would be like NWA.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
All right.
So it's cracking out the top two, like the top three, waiting for
Top three.
New
Yeah, yeah.
Japan. Waiting for New Japan.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's kind of like working its way up slowly. And talking about Forbidden Doors, you know who actually mentioned the fact that this Forbidden Doors should be open between AEW and WWE?
Mhm.
You know who mentioned it? A part of
You.
me, my theory is right. It's been right from the beginning. Don't worry about it. But you know who's actually mentioned it?
Who?
The current AEW World Heavyweight Champion. Swerve Strickland. Swerve Strickland
Swerve.
actually did it in an interview. He said, "There's no better time for WWE and AEW or wrestling to finally kick this fucking Forbidden Door open. Like, there's
Oh,
no
man.
better time than what's happening right now. Like, all the wrestlers are hot. Wrestling is hot. AEW has a good talent. WWE is fucking massive." And he's saying, why not? He says, I don't think Tony Khan will say no. I don't think Triple H will say no. But what better time than now? Which I agree. What better time doing now? I know Marcel has his reservation regarding, the difference between WWE and AEW, but in all honesty, if you look at it this way, AEW is gathering people, not just like we said it before, in USA, AEW is not as big as WWE, but if we take it outside USA, AEW is massive. In the Latin America, in Japan, AEW is well known. And it's pushing the boundaries even further than WWE. So it's winning the outside USA kind of match. AEW is one ahead of WWE. Of course, the biggest market is United States. But in saying that way, if you get to break, for example, this Forbidden Door between these two companies, you just conquer the whole world in one go.
Yeah.
Like you need this. It's like John Cena and The Rock match, the one in a lifetime. It fucking makes it the one in a lifetime show,
And look,
Make
and they don't have to do it like on a regular thing. It could be like every year, man, like a World Cup kind of thing. Holy shit, man. That would be amazing.
the one champion in every company.
Yeah, yeah. And you know what's interesting as well is the fact that JR this week talked about Shane McMahon. I think I sent you guys
Yes.
that article that he says that it's they asked him about, hey, would Shane McMahon go to AEW? And he said, that's only a question Shane can answer. Shane and Tony Khan, how would that work creatively? Heck, who knows? Might be great in any event. Would he come back in AEW for some reason? That all depends on Shane and what he wants to do. The fact that he's talking about it is like, whoa, what's going on?
Now let's
I
go to
don't know.
Marce. Let's go to Marce.
Sorry, have we finished the bullshit fantasy part of the podcast?
That's the only thing we do in this podcast, bro. What are you talking about?
Yeah. That's taking it to a whole new level. No, it's never going to happen. All right. It's never going to happen. And I'll tell you why. Of course, the AEW champion would say it's the perfect time to do it because he wants that exposure too. Like AEW is big, like you said, outside of the US. It's not bad in the US either. It's the second one, right? But it's still very much the minor leagues. And that once a year, like thing that you're saying, like World Cup. Are you familiar with the show WrestleMania? That's what that is. They don't need AEW. That AEW might need WWE to expand their product, but WWE does not need AEW in any way, shape, or form. The reason why wrestling is so red hot at the moment is because of what's happening in WWE, because of the Triple H era, because of the TKO takeover, because that's why wrestling is red hot. All around the world, wrestling is red hot. They've just been to Scotland. They went to France earlier. They're going to Germany. Packed out everywhere. AEW's got a massive show in England. Yeah, that's coming up too. I'm not saying AEW is bad. I'm just saying I don't see it happening because they are competitors. They may not be in direct competition, but they are competitors. And the only reason they're not in direct competition is because WWE is just so fucking huge. But there's no reason why WWE would want to give the exposure that they get to that competitor AEW. There just isn't. They're better off teaming up with these smaller promotions like they're doing, like TNA, like Noah, like Marigold. And I expect them to do other stuff with other smaller promotions. They've done stuff with, I think it's a GCW. I think they let Shayna Baszler go to Bloodsport this year.
Yeah.
So in that sense, that works for them because they're going against real small promotions. That they both gained from that. But in terms of pushing AEW, there's no point.
But we're just talking
I
about
don't know,
this. The
man.
thing. I think there's two big things. Like one, when this happened, the reason why WWE is so hot right now is because AEW, and the reason because AEW, because WWE is going on the way down, heavy crashing down low when WWE realized because of AEW they need to step up the game. And that's when Triple H stepped in. They took him off NXT, slowly starting giving weight on WWE until they gave him the full-on, you are the creative beans out. Because if it wasn't for AEW, like 100%, the product would not be what it is right now. Would not be.
Absolutely.
It's impossible. Impossible, because it's a massive difference between WWE with Vince, with AEW. As soon as AEW kicked in, man, that just changed, because people was turning off WWE to go to AEW. People was leaving. People just fucking, I'm done with this. They were done with the product. They were done with WWE, and they were going to AEW. So it's a lot of wrestlers.
Well,
because
look, I'd say that's a valid point. That is a valid point, and I'll give you that. But it reminds me of back when WWE was going through the PG era, okay, just before the Attitude Era. What made WWE embrace the Attitude Era? ECW and what they were doing. So in that sense, it's kind of analogous with what you're saying with AEW, but there's just no point in WWE helping AEW become bigger than what
he got my second point. But he got my second point. AEW has the handle on the two biggest market that WWE wants to get in for a long time, which is New Japan and in Mexico, the two biggest companies in Mexico, which WWE cannot crack in, and they will never crack in because AEW is in. Like I said, AEW outside the United States is bigger than WWE. It really is, and we've seen it. We've seen it because we follow since it started. We've seen it, how big it is at the moment, AEW, and how big it is outside what's called USA. So I think for those two reasons, WWE will actually benefit from doing something like that, or working with AEW, just to crack those two markets. And second, because you still got wrestlers, they're going back and forward. There's wrestlers that could go to AEW, there's wrestlers going from AEW to WWE. They're going back and forward, you know. WWE, what AEW can give to the wrestlers is the fact that you can go anywhere and wrestle freely. You don't need to worry about it. You can go anywhere, and that has benefit every single wrestler that going back to WWE. You know, they benefit so much because they learn so many different things. They learn how things work outside the WWE world. Look, Macadona, bro. Macadona is
he's a beast. Like,
but he left, and now he's just everywhere. You know.
All right, but let me ask you this. Let me ask both of you this: if this fantasy of both of yours comes true, and we have that, main event, WWE champion versus AEW champion, what makes you think that WWE would allow their guy, because the champion is the man, the face of the company, what makes you think that they would let that strap get taken by the AEW champion?
But you don't need to. That's the thing. You don't need to have the strap of WWE. You can make a special strap. The one-off strap, the world champion of the world.
Another belt for AEW? They've only got 50.
No. You can have the one strap. Sorry, Renzo.
I think, look, I agree with you, Mars. Yeah, they can't do that. But there's a concept that Rod and I are really big fans of from New Japan. And New Japan do this. They do it every year. It's called the Super Juniors tournament. Yeah. And basically what they do is they get all the best young wrestlers from different companies. So it's AAA, CML, everywhere, like Noah. They get them all. And they do like a round, like an eliminator. No, I think it's a round robin. They put them it's a round robin. They put them in groups, and then an eliminator. So it's like almost like a little World Cup kind of a deal. And you win the Super Juniors, and like that's it. Like you don't come back. You You don't come back. But every year it's like new wrestlers. So if they do something or
They
a
do come
concept
back
like
though.
that,
Let's be fair. They do come back.
yeah, they
You
do
know,
come
there's a
back.
few wrestlers that
But
do fucking wrestle a few times there.
yeah. But if they do that every year, like something like that, where hey, they win something and it's like it's for that moment only, man, I think that's a pretty cool concept. You know, especially the round robin, man. That's pretty cool.
You're talking about the juniors. You're not talking about like the main event
They're
guys.
not juniors, by the way.
No,
They
no.
just call it the juniors. They're not juniors at all.
They're not juniors.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
They're not juniors. They
Alright.
just call it the juniors. It's a fucking. But that's the thing. For example, you don't need to have the champions there. Like you're probably gonna
No.
have them as an attendance to the final and having all the champions at attendance there and just watching. But you have, you know, all the mid cutters or the second down the ladder. Anyone that doesn't have a strap at the moment, you know.
Yeah,
for
look,
example,
I mean, I understand the
Styles
concept and
and
it's a
all
great
stuff.
idea, but I just don't think it's going to happen.
No, look, if it happen, it doesn't happen. But it'll be a nice way to actually. It doesn't hurt anyone, you know.
Bring everyone together.
And everyone brings everyone together. You don't need to expose your champions. It just
Yep.
it's a good concept to do it. It's just a one-off, but just no champions. Champions are off the list, but anyone else can do it. And for example, WWE can do an elimination championship. The top 3 go. AEW can do the same. You know, you can do it any way you go. It'll be nice. It'll be good to show like unity in wrestling right now, and you just benefit everyone. You know.
But just going back to one of your points, like it's not like WWE isn't making any inroads in Mexico. They're about to have 2 super shows, and they'll get sold out.
But that's it. But that's the thing. AEW is constantly there. That's what I'm saying. Like AEW is constantly taking wrestlers there. It's constantly going to all the AAA matches. CMLL is constantly.
CMLL as well.
They're constantly going there. You know what I mean? They're not. There's too much. Like they're not. Okay, we make it 2 shows and then we go away. No, they're constantly there. New Japan or maybe Japan. They're constantly going to Japan. The Japanese guys constantly go to AEW. So it's a constant thing back and forward. You know what I mean? It's not like, for example, New Japan, after 5 years, 3 shows, and that's it. We go home. And it's not even a PLE. It's just 3 shows and we go home. So that's what I'm saying. WWE, AEW is different. The AEW is constantly back and forward. Wrestlers are going there, wrestlers going back, wrestlers going off in Twitter, wrestling is talking to each other. It's constant. And that's the thing that WWE doesn't have. So that's what I'm saying. It's not going to kill anyone. And in moments when wrestling is so hard, why not do something that just benefits everyone, you know? Because you make a super champion, you're finally going to have the Max from AEW against the Max from WWE, and you know, have battle in the stands for fucking different, you know, fans. You know, that'll be hectic. It's like having un clásico, you know, un clásico la el Colo, Peñarol Nacional. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like Chile Argentina, Chile Uruguay, like clásico, tenilo, like you got the fans going against each other inside the stands, outside the stands, plus what's happening in the ring. So it just makes it fun.
Oh, look, I love the concept. I just don't see it happening.
Look, and for the Super Juniors, just to let you know, Mars, TNA send people, and so do NWA. So it's massive. That's Super Juniors. When it's on, I'll let you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
it's fun to watch.
Yeah.
It's fun to watch.
It's fun.
It's fun to watch. There's a lot happening. Robbie Eagles actually went there.
Robbie Eagles,
from
man.
PWA,
Yeah, he
man.
was in the Super Juniors.
He's been a few times in there. AJ Styles was up, but Finn Balor was there.
Finn Balor was in the
actually
Super Juniors.
It's just many
Wheeler
wrestlers.
Yuta.
Will Yuta, yeah. What's it called? I forgot. There's a few wrestlers have been there, so it's pretty fun. It's a fun to watch. It's a fun thing. It's a fun thing to get everyone together, and just it gives you a lot of exposure, especially for the wrestlers. They don't get that much exposure, or they're just not running for any titles at the moment. So it's pretty fun. So with that saying, we're gonna cut this part of the podcast, and then we come back. We're gonna go straight to WWE. We're gonna talk about Clash at the Castle, and then what happened today at the end of the Raw game. I gotta say, I got emotional about it. It was really emotional for me, bro. I shed a few tears, even though I shouldn't be because of fucking scary shit. But it's just what it meant. It was just fucking beautiful. So we're just going for a break. Come back, and we go straight into that.